everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandi and I am a full-time reseller. On today's video, I thought I would go through some pretty popular sites for mystery boxes or pallets that you can get to resell online. I did make a list of different sites that I have tried personally, some that I have seen other resellers, kind of review, and then some that I have never seen anyone talk about or seen a review on it. So kind of a little mix of everything. I guess starting, I will give you kind of my thoughts on mystery boxes and if I think they're beneficial or not. So for the pros, obviously you're saving time because there is inventory that's being shipped straight to your house. You don't have to go out and go to the bins for hours or go to multiple thrift stores or rummage sales. It's all coming directly to you. It also gives you the opportunity to learn new brands. When I was first starting out, that was one thing I really did enjoy with mystery boxes. I wasn't familiar with, every brand out there, and I'm still not. So it's always nice to be able to look into new brands. Maybe you'll find something that you had never heard of, or you had looked at it a couple times and never even thought to look it up, and it was worth something. So that's another benefit to the boxes. Since it is a mystery box, you never know what's going to be in there, so you could actually get a really good box. I've had it happen to me before. I've seen other people, open really good boxes, but it's not a guarantee. It is also just fun to open boxes. Me personally, I do like the mystery of it just because you just never know what's going to be in there. And I guess the last pro, most of these companies are willing to give some sort of discount if you are a new customer. There are a lot of YouTube creators that have their own coupon codes for different companies that they have, gotten items from in the past. So I would say if you're going to get any of these, definitely make sure to look and see if there are any discounts available. Now onto the cons. The one being you could get a box full of junk, and that's just, part of the game. A lot of what you are getting from these boxes are going to be returns, shelf pulls, items that people didn't want in the store. Maybe they're damaged. So you have to keep that in mind, especially if you're doing like liquidation pallets from Target or something like that. If you're getting that pallet, more than likely, there's a whole bunch of other people that are getting very similar items. So if everybody has the same items and now you're flooding the market with it, it's going to become oversaturated. So that's another thing to kind of think about. A lot of times with mystery boxes for the liquidation ones, you're not getting great sizes. They're probably really tiny. Or if they're like swimwear, maybe you're only getting the bottoms or just the top. So that's also something you want to think about. Another kind of downfall is you're paying for the shipping. Some of the companies will offer free shipping at like a certain amount, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure most of them I have paid the shipping. Once you're getting into boxes that are, like 75 pounds plus, you're definitely going to have a pretty big shipping bill. And then the one issue that I come into the most with these boxes is condition. A lot of them will have, or they should have, some sort of disclaimer letting you know what the defect rate is of the box, what to expect. A lot of them will say, there could be pilling, there could be stains, missing buttons, broken zippers. So that's something you're going to want to think about if you are someone that, doesn't want to try and mend any type of clothing, that maybe those boxes would not be for you. And then I think the biggest downfall that I have seen within the last couple years of mystery boxes is live selling. Unfortunately, a lot of these companies that were offering, strictly mystery boxes, pallets, liquidation, they have found Whatnot, they have found eBay Live, they have found Poshmark Live sales, and they're doing it as well. Once I get to one of the companies, I will let you know, but they used to be my favorite one. And then all of a sudden they were on Whatnot and their boxes were absolute garbage. And I'm assuming that is because they were picking the best items so that they could get more money for them, selling them live as opposed to just putting them in the boxes. So I think that has become the main issue with getting good inventory in a lot of these mystery boxes. Okay, so we are going to actually start with ThredUp. I think this was one of the very first companies that I ever got a mystery box from. They have changed a lot of things too in their company when it comes to these mystery boxes. They're now offering a lot of these new, more like curated ones My personal opinion from what I've seen review-wise, I would stay away from those. I did get a spring and summer dress box. It was absolutely horrible. This natural fibers box, it's supposed to be like saying that it's going to be, silk or cotton or linen and whatever, and the majority of the boxes I've seen people get on YouTube, it's just like all horrible brands that are, cotton. And it's like, well, that's really not what they advertise. Right here, they have a Y2K box. I can only imagine what would be in that, because you are going to be, at the whim of whoever's packing that box, what they think is Y2K. I've had good luck with the shoe boxes, the denim boxes, some of the ones that are, I don't even know if they have them on here anymore, mixed clothing. It's really going to be a crapshoot on what you're going to get. I've seen really, really good thread-up boxes. I've gotten really good ones. And I've also seen and gotten absolutely horrible boxes that like half of it needed to be thrown away. So, it's kind of a mix on thread-up for me. It is really a gamble. I will say that their customer service is pretty good. There was one time where I had a pair of shoes that obviously someone had worn them to the point that the backs of their heels had like broke open and there was blood in the shoes, like dried blood. So I did send a picture of that, and they did comp the entire box. So with thread-up, I would say they're one of the better ones. And that's just my own personal preference. They also do not offer any manifested boxes, so it is going to be a true mystery on what you're getting. Now on to Helpsy Source. I have used this company a couple times in the past, and I will say every single time I was not very happy with what I got. They do have, it's called Reseller Packs. It looks like they do have some manifested boxes. If you are just kind of starting out, I would say that's probably your best bet. It's going to be more, obviously, because they're telling you exactly what's in there, but that way it's not so much of a gamble. So they have this secondhand inventory. Let's just see what that is. I think that's going to be like more issue ones. So a lot of these are sold out, but let's just see if it'll let me click in here. So this is a figs one. I don't know that I would ever get the scrubs that are going to be like the secondhand one, just because most of the scrubs you're going to get people wore in a hospital, and I can't imagine the condition is going to be great on them. That's just my own personal thing. There were only 10 items in this box, so right now you're looking at like $4.32 a piece. That's not including shipping. So they had like a cider one, Splendid. A lot of these are not, great brands by any means. They had a Dickies, Zara, Brooks Brothers. So it looks like you can pick by the brand, but then also they have assorted boots, sneakers. Let's see what the manifested ones look like. Okay, so here's a manifested box. We'll just click this one. This one is $108. You get 40 items, so $2.70 an item. Okay, so I clicked in here. This is not the easiest thing to read, but it is showing me exactly what should be in that box. This appears to be a lot of like winter stuff. You're getting gloves, hats, some scarves. It's $2 and some cents, so not really what I would be looking for. You could look at the other ones that they have. I'm sure these are all probably close to that one. Let's just look at one more. Okay, so this one has a little bit more of a variety. There's some jumpsuits, some pants, it looks like a coat, some jeans, a kid's top. So there are not full photos, I guess, of everything. But with these, you want to make sure you're always looking at the small print. So this one here is going to be items condition. This is saying, while we have a strict condition check, please note that you are purchasing secondhand or new with tags, new without clothing. Let's see. It says our packs may include the following flaws for which we do not offer refunds or replacements. And it says small washable stains, pilling, missing buttons, minor fabric runs, deodorant marks, small holes in the seam, makeup marks, pulls, dust marks, wrinkles, holes in pockets, security tags, pet hair. But this says, say, if more than 15% of your order has severe damage, they would replace or refund. So, like I said, you just have to make sure that you are aware that there is a possibility, and probably not even possibility, a guarantee that you are going to get items that are damaged. That's just how these boxes work. The security tag one isn't that bad. I did buy a magnet from Amazon. It works pretty good. A couple of them you really kind of have to play with. I don't buy a lot of those anymore, so it's not really anything I have to worry about, but that is just a tip if you do buy Liquidation. Next up is JTC. I have bought a couple boxes from this company. For this company, I would say it's okay. I wasn't blown away. I haven't seen like amazing boxes or anything from this company. They are getting their inventory, I believe, from like TJ Maxx and Marshalls. It's going to be those type of brands. There are more like teen items in there. I have gotten kids items in the boxes, also women's and men's. They do have some that are true mystery boxes, and then they do also have some that have photos. Those seem to sell out quicker, I've noticed. As you can see, all these are out of stock, but if we go in here, this kind of gives you an idea of what could be in the mystery box. So some brands in this one, Cynthia Raleigh, CNC California, Nautica, just stuff that you're going to find at TJ Maxx or Marshalls. This is another company that is doing live sales. I did just get an email. I believe everything's going to be dollar starts. They're doing that on eBay Live, I believe it's called. I have yet to check out any live sales on eBay. I don't think I will. I don't know, how these boxes will be in the future, because I just can't imagine that they're not pulling, good things for these shows. So this is going to be one that I would say is like a 50-50. There are some videos on YouTube that you can check out of people opening boxes. I think I have 2. Like I said, I wasn't like super thrilled about either of them. Next up is Boutique by the Box. This is one that I do not believe I have ever tried. I've seen some videos. I wasn't like super impressed. They do have manifested inventory, and then it looks like they must have just some other boxes that you can choose. This is a starter pack, assorted new wholesale. So it says mixed brands, assorted variety for category, new with tag, new without tag, women's, it's 15. See, I just feel like some of these are just way overpriced. I know I like to keep my average cost of goods low. I do have a bins location near me, so I know not everybody has that. But $11.75 per item, and that's not including shipping, I don't believe, or if there are any flaws, so if you need to take one out or something. But this says it's going to include brands like Madewell, J. Crew, Revolve Brands, Untuckit, Spiritual Gangster, and more. So this is supposed to be like an example of what you could get. I don't know. I mean, even paying $11 for Madewell, I feel like could be pretty risky. So I probably would not get this box. Let's see what else they have. So it looks like they do offer some shoes. Swimwear seems to be pretty big right now. They do have graphic tees. I don't know. How much is this going to be? It's $240 for 40 items, and they're saying it's $6 a piece. I don't know. I mean, a lot of these you can get at Walmart for $8. That's the only issue. Okay, so expected condition. Let's see what theirs says. Pretty much the same thing. It says dust, wrinkles, deodorant mark, makeup smudges, light pulls, missing hygiene liners on swimsuits, small holes or tears along the seams, missing belts or accessories, attached security sensors. They don't have, let's see what their return thing says. So you only have 5 days after you have the item delivered to you to put in any type of complaint. Okay, and then it has the condition guidelines again. But this does not have like a certain amount, like a percentage or anything. It does say acceptable reasons for returns and exchanges, broken zippers or flaws that make the item unwearable, rips over 2 inches, missing or incorrect items. So I would assume that would be like if you bought a swimwear box and you got a bunch of shoes or something. But Boutique by the Box, I know I've seen quite a few people that do get this and open it on YouTube. So this would be another one to maybe check out some boxes before you went in and bought them. I will say probably a lot of these swimwear ones, I would be a little leery because you're probably going to get a lot of just bottoms or just tops and nothing's going to match. In my experience, that is harder to sell if you only have a top or a bottom, just because people are looking for both. And then even with both, it's hard because you're looking at different sizing. So swimwear, I normally just stick to one pieces, but looks like these boxes, you'd get a little mix of both. So next is Quick Lots. I have gotten a lot of boxes from this company in the past. They used to be my absolute favorite company to go through. They are mainly getting their items from Nordstrom. That is what I am understanding based on the tags I'm seeing and the brands. This is another company where they started doing live sales maybe a year or so ago, and the boxes just went completely downhill. I used to have sometimes where I would get a box and it'd have 2 MacDougal or Dougal dresses in it, and it was like I could sell them for $200 a piece, and that would pay for the entire box, and I still had, however many items left. That does not happen anymore because, like I said, the condition has gone downhill and just what they're putting in the boxes. The last box, I think, was probably one of the worst ones I had ever gotten from them, so I just don't get them anymore. It looks like they have pallet options. Some of these are from Target, so they must have opened up, where they're getting their items from. Let's see, they have a Bed Bath & Beyond, so this is going into some hard goods if that's something you're kind of interested in. Let's see, Target seasonal, Amazon stuff for the boxes. These are going to be true mystery ones. Name brand apparel mystery boxes. That is the one I used to always get, but I do not any longer. I think the price really went up on that too, $450. I don't remember it being that expensive. And then they do have the original mystery box. That's going to have like a mixture of hard goods. They have a jewelry box and then a health and beauty mystery box. They do have auctions as well, so that also makes me think that they are pulling items that are good to put on their own little auction site here. I believe Quick Lots has actual stores, if I'm not mistaken, so you could look and see. I don't know if it's in multiple cities. This one is saying one in Texas. But yeah, so there's some clothing, some bedding you can put in an auction for. So this would be something if you were looking for personal or something that you knew you could flip. Okay, so now we are on to Goodwill Blue Box. I have gotten a couple of these in the past. I've gotten a jean one. What else did I get? I think maybe only a jean one and 2 hat ones. The jean one was okay. That one I got probably 3+ years ago. And then the 2 hat ones I got just this last year. The very first one I got was amazing. And I think that box paid for itself like 3 times over. The second one I got, I think there was only 1 hat in the entire thing that was actually able for me to sell. So I'm kind of 50-50 on blue boxes as well. But they do offer a lot of different variety. So let's see. So down here you got jewelry, watch, but these are repurposed ones, so more like crafting type things. A Lego box, denim, apparel. They have a kids box, couple different kids ones, purses, plush. Maybe I got shoes from them in the past. I don't really remember much about it. Sports trading cards, comic books. So a lot of different things. They do sell out pretty quickly. So I think there's somewhere you can put your phone number in and they will text you when boxes are going to drop so that you're ready and you can kind of look if that's something you're interested in. I will say that there is Shop Goodwill too. That's like their own eBay type deal where you can put in auctions for things. They do have lots on there of clothing. I mean, anything you can think of that you'd find in Goodwill. I have seen quite a few videos where people do find good items there, but I think it's no longer like a secret that Goodwill has this website, so there is going to be a lot more competition. Next is America's Thrift Supply. I do not recommend this company. Everything I've ever seen pretty much from this company has been horrible. I got a micro bale of swimsuits that you can go watch it if you want. It was 100 pounds of swimsuits and it was like I think probably 80% of it was trash. So they have mystery boxes. Let's see. They are similar to Goodwill. It's looking like they have Legos, comic books, watches, denim, shoes, some more like curated Harley Davidson shirts, NASCAR. So once that's kind of like a turnoff to me, I guess, when I see these companies that start like really narrowing it down, because that tells me that they are picking through everything. In like, if you just had men's shirts, I know now it's not going to have any NASCAR, it's not going to have any Harley, there's not going to be sports jerseys in there because they're pulling them for these other boxes. So right away that would kind of be like, probably not going to happen for me. Carhartt, band tees, this is like insane to me as well, because you're only getting 5. And how much is it? $59, so $10 a piece. That can't be right. Yeah, 5 hand-picked authentic graphic band tees. And it says range from vintage tour and band tees to Y2K early to late 2000s graphic band tees. Okay, so you're paying over $5 for 5 shirts, and they could all be from Walmart. So I don't trust this company, but if this is something you'd be interested in, you could definitely check out some other videos of people that have gotten these boxes in the past. Okay, next up is Rag House. I don't see much about this one. I did get 1 box from this, and I did really like it. The only thing I will say is they kind of changed up how they were doing the boxes. When I got my box, it actually showed, let me see if I can find one in here. It showed me exactly what was going to be in the box in a video. In my box, it showed me exactly what was in that box. Now all of them are saying videos are included of what a typical long sleeve graphics box looks like. The items shown in these videos are not the items you will be receiving. You will be receiving similar items. So you can kind of click over here and it will show you some, examples of what would be in there. The reason I bought the box was there were a couple Y2K shirts that I knew I could make my money back very quickly, and I did. Now I'm a little bit more leery because it's like I don't know what I'm getting. But they do have a bunch of different options here. They have denim, dresses and skirts, lingerie, plus size. They do have, let's see. If you click into some of them, it will say like vintage or whatever, like, so let's just do sweaters. They have sweater dresses, sweater crops, funky sweaters. And then here's these mystery boxes. This is new. When I was getting my box, they didn't have this. So they must kind of be going that way. Doing a little bit more of just not curated or not manifested like they had it. From what I'm seeing of what they offer, this is kind of geared more towards Depop and the younger crowd. I'm not really seeing a lot of like more mature brands. I'm not seeing like elegant dresses. It's more, Y2K, Depop, vintage type vibe for this company. This is the Unclaimed Baggage site. I've seen a couple videos and I feel like this one is also kind of 50-50. They do offer mystery boxes and you can also like shop on here. I don't know if it's, let me just see. I can't remember if this one was an auction or if you just paid it outright. It looks like you pay it outright. So they have, different things on here like a halogen, what is this? A tank top that's new with tags for $12.99. So you could kind of look through here. Maybe there'd be something you could flip or for personal use, but they do offer boxes somewhere. Here are the mystery boxes. I think that they do have different options. So stuffed plush, youth, girls, infant, toddlers. They have souvenir ones, football cards, intimates, cup and water bottles. So they have a lot of different options. This one I think is going to definitely be like a true mystery because it's unclaimed baggage stuff. You never know what someone's going to have in their bag. Could be really good stuff or it could be really bad. So this also kind of makes me think they're obviously looking at each individual item if they are putting items up for sale. So keep that in mind. I don't know that I've ever seen like a box where it was like, oh my God, I can't believe they have this in here. If anything, I would think it was going to be a brand that maybe is worth a lot of money that a lot of people are not aware of, would be my guess. Next brand is Liquidation.com. This one is an auction-based site, so you can look at different categories. They have health and beauty, holiday, seasonal, furniture, jewelry and watches. They do have mystery boxes, tools and machinery, clothing. Some of this stuff can be pretty big. So definitely make sure to look at the shipping of it all, because once you start getting into pallets, there might be some restrictions on where they can deliver a pallet. I have seen some companies that say that it is a pallet, but it does come in boxes. So definitely make sure you look up all the shipping information before you would purchase something. Also, shipping it could be expensive as well, depending on what you're getting. So let's just go in here to this and just see what they have. So here's a pallet. This one's already closed, but a pallet of general merchandise. Really, you're not seeing much. It's just a bunch of boxes that are saran wrapped together. That's not really telling you much unless it does down here. It says there's 30 items, assorted. The shipping fee for this one was $103. So like I said, you really need to make sure that you are looking at what the shipping is, because that might, deter you from getting it depending on how much the actual lot is. This one, sometimes I think they're just like a full pallet of the exact same thing. So this one is these dog beds. So this is telling you a little bit of what's in here. It looks like there's some dog beds, a wireless dog fence, a dog seat cover. So this one tells you a little bit about it. The highlights, it does look like it's coming from Amazon. I would really read into this to make sure that they are new, or if they're returns or what, just to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Like I said, this one is going to be more a broad thing. It's not just clothing. There's a whole bunch of options, and you have to bid on the pallets or the boxes. And then the last one, this is another one that I have never seen a video on or anyone talk about. I believe it's called Dervy. They also have, I think, just clothing. And let's see. So it looks like Target stuff, QVC, and like Land's End. So here they have a 300-piece Target swimsuit. They are offering free shipping on this. I don't think this one had a manifest. Yeah, this one's unmanifested. It says photos were pulled using the QPC codes from the items in this lot. So you are getting an idea of what you would get. It says sizes, mostly small, medium, large, extra large, and 1X. Some larger and smaller sizes will be in the lot. Brands, mostly Kona Soul, Shade and Shore, some Land's End, and Aqua Green. They are overstock and shelf pulls, so that's good to know that they're not returns. It tells you there's going to be 3 boxes. UPS ground would be shipping it. So, I mean, this gives you pretty good information, I think, personally, of what you're getting. This one has QVCs. These are all petites, so that would be something to think about. It says warehouse photos show the actual inventory used to create the lot, so you pretty much know what you're getting. It does give you a big list of brands, and it says that most of them are in the poly bags. So this is, just another option. I think that this one, you're definitely seeing a lot more to what you're getting. So that was 12 different companies that I have found or used for mystery boxes or to get inventory online. I guess my biggest takeaway from all of this is to just really make sure you know what you're getting, so that you are not surprised in the condition potentially that you would be getting the items in. Just really look at the fine print, see if you can return things if it's not, what was advertised. Also keep in mind, like I said, the shipping, you want to make sure it's able to get to your house. You want to make sure that the shipping isn't going to put too much of a fee that it's no longer, really worth it for your cost of goods. Keep in mind, like I said earlier, that a lot of these items are going to be shelf pulls or, items that did not sell in the stores. So that normally tells me they are, maybe not very desirable. The sizing probably isn't the greatest. The styles are not what people are looking for. Also, if it's being pulled, it's probably being pulled at the same time at different stores. So a lot of other resellers potentially could be getting the same items. So I guess my main thoughts on mystery boxes, I think that they're fun. I have definitely slowed down a lot on what I get. I don't even remember the last time that I got one, to be honest, just because I have found that thrifting just works easier for me. Going to the bins, I know exactly what I'm getting. I'm picking it up. I get to see the condition of it. I know how much it's going to be, but not everybody has that luxury. So if you are somebody that needs to get inventory online, I would almost suggest like going to different websites like ThredUp or something like that and just shop around and see what they have. You can, make the gamble of the mystery boxes and it could turn out. You're just never gonna know what's in it, I guess, is the main part of that. If you know someone that maybe lives in a different area from you, you trust what they can do and they could wholesale for you, I would definitely reach out to people like that if they have mentioned that in maybe some of their YouTube videos or something, that would be something they're interested in doing. But with that, I would also make sure that you trust the person, you trust that, they're getting you good stuff. I've seen some pretty bad stories on YouTube of people doing wholesale with other resellers, and some of the stuff they pick up is just garbage. So I guess like the moral of everything is just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. You can waste, I've seen people get pallets of stuff and they're never going to make their money back because it's all trash. So it's always going to be a gamble when you are buying from these companies. So let me know in the comments below if you have tried any of these companies or if there's a different one that you have tried. I would be interested in seeing that. And as always, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a like. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!